Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Michael, aka Rickshaw, and you are nerding out with Rickshaw, and you're also nerding out with.
What's up, nerds? It's Rabbit.
And it is I, the producer, Toby Von Doom.
We're just hanging out, looking at each other's faces on computer screens, communicating through microphones. You know how it goes. You know how the internet works, right, guys? Anyways, before we get started, we're gonna talk about guys. We got a lot of comments the other day on a video, and it made me kind of question what's happening with like the state of music. But yeah, before we get to that, do you need new headphones, or do you need a new microphone? If you do, go to the description, and there will be a link there. Click the link, and then you'll get several options for Sennheiser audio equipment. If you decide to take any of that stuff home with you, if you type the discount code 10nerdingout723, then you'll get 10% off. So thank you, Sennheiser, for sponsoring. So yeah, guys, we did uh, a reaction video to Hanabe. How do you say that?
I never figured out how to say it because I'm illiterate as hell.
How's it spelled? What is it spell? How's it spelled?
Well, we were saying Hanabi, and I think you corrected us to Hanabe when we were just talking
Hanabi.
about it. Hanabi.
Hanabi.
Yeah. And we liked the song, and we were talking positive about it, and
That
our
wasn't
friend
good enough.
our friend our friend Fuzz said, "But can they do it live?" And I noticed a lot of people started jumping in the comments and saying that that was really offensive and like really
Offensive is a strong word.
yeah,
Okay.
it's like offensive and disrespectful. And one of the things that someone said specifically was like, oh, you're gonna come in here to this band with like girls. It's like a girl singer, a girl drummer, a girl guitarist, all these things, and you're gonna question if they could do it live. And then it says if they were big burly metal dudes, would you ask the same question?
Yes.
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 Definitely.
100%.
It has nothing to do with being male or female. I'm sorry. Like
yes.
that's not the point at all.
Yeah, we honestly live in a time where uh you could record an album and you have a lot of help. You have a lot of different effects, you have a lot of different, we have auto tune, and these are all industry standards now. You know what I mean? Like obviously you're going to play the guitar 1,000 times and you're going to pick the best time you played that track, and that's the way an album works. So whenever it comes to the live show, the question is asked amongst a lot of musicians: can they do it live? And that's their number one job. Like for a musician itself, that's their number one job. They're gonna make the most money when they play a live show. They're there to sell merch after the show. That's their job. Like
They are the product.
yeah, people don't
If
make
you're
money on albums anymore. So, like the one thing to put it in the perspective that I see it as is the album marketing for their live show, or is their live show marketing for their album? And
Right.
obviously the question or the answer in my eyes is, since no one makes money selling CDs or listen when someone listens to your streams, no one makes money like that anymore. So your number one job is to play your music live. So your videos, your songs is all marketing for your live show.
Yes.
If you cannot recreate that sound live, if you're a bad guitarist, if you're a bad vocalist, if you're a bad drummer, then like then that's where the disconnect is. That's the
Yeah.
question. That's the question that
And
musicians ask.
yeah. And you're doing your fans a disservice by not being able to play those songs live. And most of the majority of the time when those questions are asked is when the album does sound heavily produced and overly produced.
Mhm.
You ask those questions like, can this be done live? Like, y'all remember when Dragon Force came out? We all wanted to know, like, could this dude play these solos live? Like, everybody asked that same
Yeah.
question. Like,
Yeah.
like this record sounds legit, but can he play this live? That's what we all wanted to know.
Yeah.
Or just
And it's not
vocalists hitting the notes that they hit like during
right.
recording sessions and stuff. Can they do it
Exactly.
on the road every night? And like, yeah, I mean, I think it's a fair question because you want to know, like, am I getting a different version of, I'm paying for a ticket to go see
Yeah.
you. Am I
Mhm.
getting a different version of what you just showed me? The presentation I just saw
Yeah.
with being the music video, you're getting a presentation of like, this is going to be fun, or whatever it may be, and you're like, you want that. Like, when you go to McDonald's, you see their ads and the cheeseburger looks delicious and you get it and it's like smash and shit and you're like, I
Can they pull that
guess.
off
Yeah,
live?
yeah. Can y'all pull that? Can y'all pull that
And
Whopper off live? Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it doesn't happen that way.
No,
No,
unfortunately.
and honestly, okay, my like the term offensive, like that's pretty rough. Like we're not, as a musician myself, and Mike, you're a musician. Like I'm not even asking that question as like in a negative way. It's just like it's almost a curiosity. It's
Mhm.
like okay, like I'm a vocalist, so I listen to vocalists, and I hear a vocalist do something that's like outlandish or wildly creative, and I'm like, damn, that was cool as fuck. Can he do that live? It's not. I'm not like I'm impressed by the fact that he can do that, but I want to know if he can do that live. It's
Right.
not disrespectful at all. It's not condescending, and it's just a curiosity.
Right.
And that's from that's my perspective.
It's like here. I mean, the best analogy I could come up with is like, let's just say that you see a video of somebody doing punches and kicks, right? And you're like, dude, this guy is sick. He kicks crazy. He punches crazy. Oh my god. And then he gets in a fight and he gets his ass beat. Then you're like, yo, what's up with that? I guess he can't do it live. you know,
Well,
you know what I mean? Like it's the same
Yeah.
thing. Like you could practice spin kicking all day, and you could record every one of them, and then you could look pretty badass at the end of the day. Like, yeah, I know karate. Look at this.
I
It's
got
on
a
my
I got a
phone.
highlight reel of all
Yeah.
the best clips possible.
Yeah. So can you do it live? That's where it's at.
Look, I know we're giving just a ton of different examples, but like even skateboarding, like skateboarding or any kind of sport like that where you can do the tricks, but you might only be able to do the trick 1 out of 10 times.
Mhm.
And I would
Right.
assume, I don't play any kind of instruments, but I would assume playing guitar, playing drums like that, there's probably certain things that you write and you're like, why the fuck did I write that? That's super hard,
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's just like a trick. Maybe you can't pull off that one trick every single time, but you can do it. It
Right.
and that's
Mhm.
not,
Because
but like we say, it's the consistency. Can you do it when you're on tour and you're playing 10 shows in a row, 15 shows in a row, or whatever?
Yeah, and so recently, Craig
yeah, but there's no auto
Reynolds.
tune for your skateboard.
That's true. So recently, Craig Reynolds, the drummer of Stray from the Path, he's also a pretty famous drummer from the UK. He was like a fill-in drummer for on the Tonight Show.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
He's just like he has his own podcast. He's pretty much like a smaller celebrity just for being a sick drummer. He put out a statement talking about, drumming and live shows, and he, put out a statement. It was kind of snarky, but at the same time, he was just being honest. He was like, your favorite drummers are using kick drum on their drum tracks, and you don't even know. So that statement came out. And if you don't know what that is, what he's saying specifically, you're not like a musician or anything like that, then what he's talking about is some bands play with a track, right? So their drummer would listen to clicks in their ear. The track would be playing. The drummer just keeps time with that, and then everyone in the band plays with them. Sometimes there is a already pre-recorded track coming out of the monitors in the front of house, and no one's playing it. No one's doing it. And so for you as a spectator out front, may or may not notice certain sounds coming through. Like there could be sometimes there's a third guitar, sometimes there's extra vocals. But Craig Reynolds was he was pointing out the fact that drummers are using kick drums. And so when you saw that drummer play live, the kick drum would all be on tracks, and all that the drummer would be in charge of is playing his cymbals and snare and toms. So, and his response to that a few days later, he made a video about it, was a lot of people didn't care. They literally went into his
Yeah.
comments or tweeted at him, and they were like, "We don't care as long as the show sounds good." And
Yeah.
to me, that's just a big cop out. Like
Yeah.
it's making live music not worth what it used to be. You know, talent is worth something, but faking it is a whole different, you know, it's just
Yeah.
kind of a, it's to me, it's kind of a slimy, you know, because if you're making the money to play the shows, and you're like, who cares if I could do it live because it's on tracks, then that's a little slimy to me. Because your main job, like we were just saying, is to play those songs.
Well, I think we have to could take into consideration this day and age where the majority of musicians aren't in bands. They are pop stars or hip hop artists or stuff like that, where a lot of the production and tracks are pre-recorded and just played behind them, and nobody bats an eye. There's not a band behind the rapper. There's not a band behind most pop singers. It's like pre-recorded tracks that they sing to or rap over.
Mm-hmm.
And so losing the people like us that are more like in the band uh, genre, I guess, like category. Like
Yeah.
we want to see people playing their instruments on stage, and a lot of the younger generation don't care about that. They just want to see the band, their favorite person live, and that's all that matters to them. So yes, they're saying as long as it sounds good, we don't care.
Yeah, but
And
I mean,
that's something we have to consider. But
yeah, and and the people that think it's offensive for us to, say, can they do it live? That's just what being a musician
yeah,
is,
but
like
there's a caveat to that. There's a caveat to what I was saying. If you're a drummer on stage pretending to play drums to a recorded track, that's where it gets to us. It's like, well, they can't pull that off live, and that's where it gets disrespectful, I guess. Like they think we're being disrespectful by asking that question, but I think the drummer is being disrespectful by like tricking you to thinking he can play the song and he can't.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, that's like, do you think that people go to the Olympics, and they're like known for being the best at what they do, and they could fake it? You know what I
right,
mean?
yeah, it's
Like no, like when you're known for being the best drummer or the best guitarist, then just go do it. Like, you
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't, like when you fake that, you're taking it away from the people that are the best drummer
Or at the
or
very
are the best
least,
guitarist.
yeah. Or at the very least, just write the song in a way that you can play it live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
That's true too.
why write this song extravagantly to where in a way that you can't play it live? Like just write the song to where you can play it live.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean that's just something that we've been having conversations about in person, like with some of my friends, and we're just explaining, because I think that some people that don't play music themselves might see it different, but from a talent standpoint, it's like if you can't do all that stuff live, what is your job really? So
Yeah. You might as well just play a track. You might as well just have a DJ and play a track. and not be on stage.
Well,
Yeah, be a DJ.
in the defense of like the people that were talking shit to us on the how did you say it? Hanabi,
Hanabi.
Hanabi.
Hanabi. They were all coming to the defense saying, no, they can play it. Now, they got a little sideways with what we were asking because they were like, oh, you're only asking because they're women. And that was far from the truth, you know?
No, no.
Uh, yeah, we all have plenty of women musicians that we love and, you know, that are in our rotation of music all the time. So that's
Yeah.
I mean,
Mike.
the most popular band I was ever in had two different female front women at different times,
Right.
Yeah.
and so
It's so silly that they would
yeah, yeah. I wrestled a bear.
think that you
once,
of all
definitely.
people would be like sexist against a woman vocalist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
So silly.
it is pretty silly, but you know, I guess it's the day and age we live in. It's just you know, you can't be. It's almost like you can't be honest and you can't be genuine without like a swarm of people just being
Yeah.
like, what are you freaking saying? This and that, and it's
Oh
just like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like if you know me, then you would know I'm not a piece of shit. I just want to hear people play their album that they sold us. Like,
You know, it's funny because you almost want to tell all these people that are bitching at us about, like, you know, if we say something negative about, not even negative as in like, oh, this band sucks. Like, it's not my thing. That's usually what we end up on, right? We were like, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
If any of these people that like talk shit to us or whatever it is in the comments, make your own content. Make the content you want to see on the internet, and I don't know. I would just love for those people to just try to do something. Try to make the content, and then you can, like a musician, you can have your opinion about what we're putting out or if we're doing okay. I don't know.
well, I feel like right
Yeah.
now in our society, the biggest thing in the internet, the most popular thing is negative content. So if you are complaining or bitching or saying negative things, and like you can't have your own content that starts like that. You need something else to bitch about first. So, so I think that a lot of you know, there's probably a lot of genuine YouTubers or podcasts where they just say, you know, how they feel, and they probably hold it dear to their hearts. But a lot of people chime in and are just like, you're stupid. I hate you. You're fake. And it's just I guess everybody needs to bitch, but I usually tend to do it after work while holding a beer, and it's usually about customers. So, but yeah,
Hell yeah.
we're very cynical people. We talk shit about our own bands. We talk shit about our own music. We talk shit about our favorite bands. So I definitely have seen some of my favorite bands live, and they didn't sound the greatest that night. And I was like, wow, I'm real bummed tonight. Chino didn't sound great.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
I've always gone back to that heavy Lolo set where it was just, it was awful. It was terrible. The vocalist didn't. He was gone. I don't know where he was mentally, but he was not on that stage. And I saw them 6 months ago or whatever, and it was one of the fucking coolest shows I've ever been to. Like, it was so good. So, you know,
Hey Toby, I played a show with Heavy Lolo in Lubbock, Texas, in
yeah,
a storage unit
that is
nice.
awesome.
in like 2003.
Really, that is so
Dude, that's
cool.
Yeah.
amazing. That's awesome. Dude, Heavy Lolo is so sick, seriously. So, but yeah, you know, guys, it's all good, you know. But if you want to go in the comments and you want to keep this going, you want to hate on us some more, I welcome it because I will be watching and I will be smiling no matter what. So, but yeah, also, guys, tell them what you guys like to do outside of this podcast, and maybe they can complain about that too.
All right, well, I'll go first. Hey, I've got a little retro video game review show where, hey, we go over old video games and we talk about the history, the story, the gameplay, some fun facts, and then we rate it and let you know if it's still worth playing. It's called the Secret Levels Podcast. It's on all the major podcasting platforms. Go check it out if you like video games on the NES, on the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, all that kind of era.
And honestly, there's like so many old school video games that I could complain about all day too.
Oh,
Like
trust me, we do
just
that
like
too.
just like being like, this is one of my favorite games, but oh my god, it's
Hey,
so stupid.
that's what happens a lot of time on the show
Yeah.
is we're like, nostalgia, and we're like, oh, can't wait to talk about this, and then by the time we hit record, we're like, fuck this game was terrible. Bubsy being one of our biggest like go back to making fun of games, because I used to think that game was awesome. It was terrible. Anyways, go check out the podcast, it's really fun if you like video games.
Rabbit, go ahead.
Nice. Well, speaking of bands who can't pull shit off live, go check out my band, Terminated. I do use autotune, so get over it. Just,
But
just
can you
kidding.
do
We have
it
a song on
live?
Spotify. I can sing live, yeah. I
There you
can't do
go.
4-part harmonies live, but I can sing live, yeah.
For sure.
You didn't try.
But yeah, guys, if you like what you see here, go add us up on Instagram, on Facebook. We also do stuff on podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all that other stuff. And we usually do long ones every now and then, long podcasts where we just kind of riff, and you get to know us a little better. But also, I just joined a band called Never Rest. We are from Austin, Texas. We're going to be doing live stuff soon, and I do have a past project called Phantom Figures, where I did vocals in that. Also, if you've never heard my old band, I Wrestled a Bear Once. It seems to be popular to talk about bands they want to come back, for nostalgia's sake. And my band pops up a lot, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. So, yeah. But anyways, Lion King for Super Nintendo. That was a good one for me to absolutely despise.
There you go.
I'm-
Okay, I was really about to be like, dude,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't remember. You don't remember,
No.
but apparently
I'm,
you do.
I'm pretty sure I beat it once, and I was like, oh, I finally figured out how to beat it, and then I played it like at least 30 other times and never was able to beat it, and I was like, what did I do that one time?
Dude, and that's the other thing. When you're a kid and you figured out how to beat shit, like I go back as a 34-year-old man and I'm like, how did I do that when I was 10? I know I beat this
Yeah,
game before.
like Mega Man,
Yeah,
like, some
yeah.
of that shit is rough.
So hard.
But yeah, if you also have comments or suggestions, hit us up at nerdingoutwithrickshaw@gmail.com. Also, we're doing a corn contest. Please send us submissions to that same email address, nerdingoutwithrickshaw@gmail.com, and send us a clip of you doing the part in Freak on a Leash that goes boom, da, 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 ima. And we're going to have a contest. And if you do that the best, in our opinions, we will send you a Corn Follow the Leader vinyl. So get on board. Get at your boy. And we will. See you later, nerds.